Hey, what's going on, guys? It's this second edition of the Rockford Rivets Rundown. You are now in the Rivets Rundown. I'm Craig Combs here with Parker Porrill. And Parker, how you going? How's it going this week, man? How you doing?
Man, it's a great week. Basketball, or at least college basketball, is officially over. Sorry for the Purdue fan, and you know what, the Alabama fan as well. So it was a rough go of things.
Yeah, but you guys have never been there before, man. You guys have never
been there. Yeah, we've never been there before, but we're both going through heartbreak. But you know what? What better way to recover than with a little Rivets rundown?
Hey, I'm excited for basketball season to be over with. I don't ever want to think about this season ever again. But no, I'm excited. We are now 51 nights away from opening night in Rockford, Illinois. The Rivets are going to be playing on May 31st, opening night of a new stadium. And I'm excited. We're about to welcome in the new manager of the Rockford Rivets, Will Oberg, into the rundown. I'm excited to see what his plan is, his foundation for this team.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he's all about. We've never met him before, and so it's going to be really interesting to see what he's all about. He's very familiar with the program, was a hitting coach last year, so he brings a lot of familiarity, not only with Rockford, not only with the front office, but with the staff as well, and with his team. And so it's going to be really interesting to see what exactly he has to say, because we're going to poke and prod him a little bit. There's a lot we want to know.
Well, I mean, right off the top, I mean, he's a native of Minnesota, so I mean, he can't be all bad. He's a Midwest guy. Yeah. A communications major. He spent some time at Heartland Community College, playing at Eastern Michigan and UIS, which is where he currently is right now as an assistant coach. And so, I mean, you can just see right off the bat, I mean, the guy loves baseball. I mean, what's the one thing that you're looking forward to ask him about?
One thing that I'm looking forward to ask him about, there's so much, there is so much that I want to ask him about, but I think a big part is the fans, just what it's going to mean later on down the stretch, because there's going to be a really fun summer, but something tells me it's going to fly by, but it's also going to be a long summer, because there's going to be like a 12th inning game in July. It's going to be humid, and just to hear that crowd go alive when the bases are loaded, I just want to ask him about that type of situation, because you look forward to it, but also he's been there. He was there last year, and I just want to know from the inside, from somebody who was there, his perspective on that.
Yeah, and how do you improve on 45 wins? I mean, 45 wins last year, the most
ain't easy
in Rivets history, huh?
Ain't easy.
No, it's not. It ain't easy on the top. So yeah, no. I'm excited to hear from him. I know that I did some research earlier on here today, doing some checking about Will and just some information about him. But one thing I found was it was a quote. You can find this on the Rivets website from Steve Malliot, the general manager of the Rockford Rivets, and he was excited, and he said that we are thrilled to have Will continue the winning tradition that was established this year under Vinny's leadership. Will's involvement in the community and his ability to connect with people make him a fantastic representation of our team. And we can't wait to see what Will brings to the table for 2024 and continues the upward path of the Rockford Rivets with his leadership and his love for the game. And that's high praise from our boss.
That is high praise. And I don't think he could say it better. I don't think he could say it better. And you said it pretty well earlier. He's a ball player. From his history, I'm sure if you look at his resume, everything that it says is ball player, because he knows ball. As simple as that.
Yeah, and on top of knowing some ball, especially in the positions that he's in, it has to be a love. And I've been trying to say this to a lot of people, but sports are love, and it's a love story. And as much as you don't want to admit that sports are a love story, it's a love story. And it'll be exciting to hear Will and his love story of baseball and how it's brought him to Rockford now for the second summer in a row.
Exactly. I can't wait to ask him, and I think he might be coming along pretty soon. Yeah.
All right. So Parker, I'm going to go ahead and bring on the Rockford Rivets manager for the 2024 season. His name is Will Oberg. He's a familiar face to the Rockford natives, a familiar face to the 815. The Rockford Rivets manager, Will Oberg.
How's it going, guys? My audio and everything good?
Oh, yep. You're good, man. You're perfect.
Everything's coming out crystal clear.
Perfect.
How's it going, man? How are you today?
I'm good. I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
Oh, so great, so great. Nice to finally meet you, man.
Yeah,
I'm
can't
excited.
complain. We survived the eclipse, man. We're here. We're still here. It's
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They told us we had to stop practicing because it was getting too close to the eclipse. They didn't want people looking at it. So,
That's funny. It's you can't tell a group of kids not to do something because what are they going to do? They're going to do it. So
exactly.
well, Parker and I want to thank you for coming on our podcast here this year. This is the Rivets Rundown. It's going to be the source for everything and anything the Rockford Rivets this year. And so we wanted to start, at the top, at the man who's going to be in charge of it all this summer. And so we kind of wanted to start things off and give the floor to you and let you kind of tell everybody how excited you are to be back in Rockford.
Yeah, I'm super excited when the opportunity presented itself. Kind of towards the end of last year, when Vinny knew he wasn't going to be able to return, he was pushing me. He said, like, yeah, you'd be really good at this. Like, you think about it. And it took some time, thought about it, and yeah, I mean, playing baseball, being around the game, coaching, everything like that. It's all about the experience. It's all about the relationships, everything like that. So it'd be stupid to pass up on a great opportunity like this. I'm going to learn a ton. The coaching staff's going to learn a ton. And we're going to do our best to provide these players with the best experience possible for this summer.
Yep. And speaking to that, has Vinny Torrencasa, has he given you any words of advice going into this year? I know y'all's relationship goes back. He was your coach at one time. So any words of advice going forward?
Yeah, me and Vinny probably talk 2-3 times a week. Whether it's about UIS baseball, a lot of it's about Rivets baseball. Some of it's about him up there at Southern Indy. So we talk a ton. It gives me all kinds of advice about it. To be honest, I wouldn't be able to do it without him. That's for sure. And that's a credit to him just for having my back and help me along with this process and give me all the information and advice that's possible so that we can continue to build on the success and what he's done there the last 2 years.
And I think, you kind of hit it on the head there, but we wanted to ask, how are you going to take what you've learned from Vinny and through playing under him and also, playing for him? How are you going to take that and now kind of put your spin on it? Because you're back in Rockford, you were a piece of the puzzle and now you're the overseer of the creation of the puzzle. And so how are you going to take those things that you've learned and also kind of formulate your own idea with this team this summer?
Yeah, I think me and he tell you this too, me and Vinny are two fairly different people, just personality wise, kind of how we operate and everything like that. But so there will definitely be a spin on it with me in charge of everything, I guess. But I think a lot of the stuff we did last year worked really well. And a lot of the process stuff as far as like timing of everything, kind of our day-to-day routine, we'll probably keep that pretty similar. I think one thing Vinny did really well last year was his ability to motivate guys, and not just motivate like, hey, I got to get the guys fired up for this one, but he had a unique ability to kind of identify like what the team needed on a certain day. And some days it was nothing. Some days it's, hey, these guys know what they're doing. We're in the middle of the season. Like, we're at home. Everything's going well. Like, keep doing what we're doing. But then there was other days where you know how it is with 72 games, it's a grind. And so there's some days where, yeah, you do got to get the guys fired up. But he did a great job of knowing how to do that. And then there was other days where it was like, hey, the guys need to loosen up a little bit today. It feels tense. It feels kind of like we're dragging a little bit. And he was great at kind of changing his style, changing how he talked to the team based on what the team needed. There's one instance in particular that sticks out where I was just super impressed with the way he handled it and the way he managed the clubhouse. We were traveling from Wausau to Traverse City last year. We had to go up through the UP. It was probably like 10 hours, something like that. Definitely the longest trip we ever took. Maybe one of the longer ones in the league. And we got to the locker room in Traverse City. It's already a tough place to play because of the travel. They got everything there. They got a great setup. So they already had the upper hand when you're going in there with the long travel, long bus ride, everything. And he just talked to guys in the locker room before the game, and it really had nothing to do with the game itself. It was more of he was kind of reflecting on the bus ride, and sometimes you can lose sight of perspective and what really matters, especially throughout the long season where it's constantly go, go, go. And he had a really good talk with the guys before the game. It's like, just be present, appreciate the moment. Like, we know what it is. It was a tough trip. We're asking a lot of you guys, but like, don't take it for granted, because when it's gone, it's gone. And this is a great opportunity to just go out and play today, and don't put any more pressure on it than it needs to be. Just enjoy the game. Don't let this opportunity kind of slip away because of the outside factors. So I definitely think that's something that I learned a ton from him. And I know I'm not going to be as good at it as he was, as far as motivating the guys and knowing how to really get the most out of them. But I think I learned a ton with that, and I'm going to do my best to kind of adopt that style that he did. I think that made our team really, really good last year.
Yeah. Hey, and not to undersell Vinny, because Vinny, I know that's, his influence on you is important, but we're all hoping, and I know that you're hoping, and I know your ring finger's hoping that you can exceed those expectations set by the predecessor. And with this team that you guys have put together here, I mean, you can kind of take a step higher and set a new standard here in Rockford.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the ultimate goal. That's why we're there, to win games. And again, Vinny did a great job last year of kind of making that clear, that like, we're here to win games. And I think we're going to adopt that same mindset. Obviously, we're going to take care of guys. We're going to make sure we're not asking too much out of them, keep them fresh, keep them healthy throughout the year, everything like that. No games, do or die. But if we consistently show up with that mindset every day to play hard for 9 innings, go out there and compete to the level that we're capable of, I think we'll have a chance when it's all said and done to do something pretty cool in Rockford.
Yeah. And getting to this upcoming season, looking at the potential roster so far, it looks like you have offense, you have defense, you have pitching. What are your thoughts on the roster going forward as now being at the helm?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I think we've got a really talented roster this summer. But the biggest challenge when you're building that roster is to make sure you're getting the right guys in the clubhouse. I think that everybody in this league is talented. Everybody in this league is capable of being a really good player. But it's kind of what you get out of them is the separator there. And so just making sure you got the right guys, a good mix of kind of different personalities within the roster, within the team. You need guys that are tough. You need guys, because that's going to elevate the guys around them. You need guys that bring a great energy to the field, bring a great energy to the clubhouse. And you need guys that just are ball players that are just going to go out there and compete and set the standard. And if you do it right, if you get the right chemistry in that clubhouse, then everybody will be elevated by being around guys like that. And I think we've got a few guys that could potentially be really good leaders for us. Just thinking back to last year, like guys like Duhan, just unbelievable the way he went about his work. That guy was a professional in everything he did, and you saw the success translate onto the field. But he also helped a ton of guys around him, especially the younger guys, kind of learn from him. DeMarco was the same way, just a tough kid, hard-nosed kid. That guy's a ball player, and he definitely elevated the guys around him. So it's important to get guys like that in there that will kind of elevate everybody and allow them to play to the best of their ability. And hopefully throughout the course of the summer, especially with the young guys, that being around different guys on this team, they'll learn something, and they'll be a better baseball player by the end of the summer than they were before it. And that's the ultimate goal. That's why I coach is to help guys grow, help guys, achieve their potential, get to where they want to be, and have the success that they've earned in this game. And I hope we can play a small part in that.
Well, and that's something I don't think that the fans in Rockford, that they don't know this, but they will appreciate, is these guys play a full, 70, 80 game season before they even get to Rockford. And so these guys are coming in here and they're doing this because they love baseball. And like kind of what you're saying, the blue collar mentality that you're trying to establish here in Rockford, is like they want to get better. And so this is their opportunity to play 40 more games, hopefully more than that, but this summer to get better, because I mean, that's what, as what you're saying, that's the whole plan, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And just, that's why it's important too, I think, to have some young talent in there too, at some some pretty good baseball programs, pretty good schools, and they won't get a ton of tick as a freshman early on. It's good to have those fresh legs coming in there too after a long season. They might not have gotten as much playing time as maybe some older guys would have, but they got all the talent in the world. And so we got some young guys on the roster too that I'm really excited about that I think are mature beyond their age for sure. But we'll kind of bring that fresh legs, that energy with them into the summer, which will be big for us.
So building off that, going into this year, obviously last year you were the hitting coach last year and 8th best batting average in the Northwoods League, and y'all found no problems making contact. So what's the philosophy going into this year? Because there's some problems with slugging last year, but y'all made great contact. So what's just the message to your team going into this year when it comes to swinging the bat?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that might get overlooked a little bit is in the Great Lakes East Division. We play in some big parks. We play at a big yard at home. Traverse City's a big park. Kokomo's a bigger park. Like a lot of big fields there. So as a result, I think last year the approach was, hey, let's get guys that are good with the bat, good bat to ball skills. They're going to be on base. They're going to get on base at a high clip, and they're going to be able to run a little bit when they get on there to just kind of create some action. And then kind of you got your bigger bats in the middle of the order that'll drive those guys in. And I think that recipe gave us a lot of success last year. And I think that's something we're kind of going off of again this year. We want guys that are athletic, guys that can control the strike zone, put up good at bats. That's something that gets overlooked too, is just the ability to get a starter's pitch count up, make him work to get through 4 or 5 innings, and all of a sudden he's at 90, 100 pitches, and they got to go to the pen. And then you have a chance to jump on some guys that maybe don't get those opportunities every 5th day, or their opportunities are here and there. And I think we had a lot of success against the bullpens last year. And I think style that Vinny kind of preached to the guys was like, let's manufacture runs early and then we'll break it open late. And I thought that gave us a lot of success. Obviously, it's different when you get the wood in your hands. Ball's not going to jump as much as it would during the school season when you got these metal bats. So I think just trying to adapt your playing style to the type of environment we're in is a big part of having success in the Northwoods League. But yeah, I'd like to see the guys, shoot some more gaps this year, lose a few baseballs. But that all comes with being good at putting the barrel on the baseball. I tell the guys all the time, you put the barrel on the baseball, good things are going to happen.
Absolutely. And also speaking to that, we touched upon it earlier. Last year, franchise win record, but still didn't qualify for the playoffs. So what's the key? What's the message to get this team over the hump? Such a successful year last year, but you can tell the team's still itching to get that playoff bid. So what's your key to make that happen this year?
Well, I'd like to say we can save a few wins in one of the halves and use them in the other one, because I think we finished with one of the best overall records in the entire league, and we still fell short of the playoffs. But I mean, that's the way it's going to go in a tough division. Every game matters. You got Traverse City, you got Kalamazoo, you got Kokomo, like these good teams, Kenosha, that they're good teams as well. And it's a dogfight every night. I think that's what made it so much fun, was every night you were playing in these games that mattered and that were back and forth. But I think, yeah, just finding a way to not let those 1 or 2 games slip away where, we weren't ready to go today. We didn't show up today, whatever it may be. And that just goes back to knowing the guys in the locker room, taking care of them when they need a day off, making sure they're fresh, making sure they're healthy, and trusting the guys behind them to step in there and fill that role, and that those fresh legs will kind of keep you going, power you through those games. But yeah, I mean, you have the season we had last year. Sometimes it just doesn't go your way. And I think we win a game or 2 here or there, which there's probably a couple dozen of them throughout the year that could have gone either way. So just continue to play hard for 9 and show up to the yard every day ready to go to work will be the message for sure. If we do that, I think good things will happen.
It's good motivation when you get into those spots this year. You can, pull back to last year and say, hey, remember these close ones, these 1-run games where it's not a big deal because it's early on the season, but like you said, each win does matter. So
Absolutely.
hey, I have to ask a quick question. Just baseball related, because I know that you played baseball, you're coaching baseball now. It seems like baseball is moderately important to you in some fashion. And so for you, what is one of your favorite baseball moments? And it can be from your playing career, it can be from what made you fall in love with baseball, but what's one of your favorite moments in baseball?
It's a good question. You could go a lot of different ways with that one. But yeah, like you said, I've always just been attracted to the game. I've always loved the game ever since I was, as long as I can remember. I remember sitting down in the basement and on summer nights watching Twins games on this little TV up in the corner of our unfinished basement, watching Torrey Hunter go out there and track balls down in center field. And something about it. I've always known it's what I want to do. It's always going to be what I want to do. But probably one of my favorite memories is probably, I don't know. That's a good question. I think one thing I really learned to appreciate as I got older throughout my college career was just those opportunities to go home during winter break or over the summer and go hit with my dad. My dad wasn't a great baseball player by any means, but I think just growing up and having that bond with him and my brother, just going to work and hitting into cages and going to the park and playing catch in the front yard. So as I kind of got older throughout college, just any opportunity I really had throughout the winter was like, hey, Dad, you want to go hit some balls at the Dome? That meant a lot to me because I knew how much it meant to him. And the BP was a little worse than I remember it being when I was younger. But Father Time comes for us all. So it was, it's just special. The relationship me and him and my brother had, just kind of going through it growing up, doing everything together. And those moments are something that, now that you're done, those probably stick out more as far as like being more meaningful than anything I could have ever done on the field.
Hey, listen, man, Parker, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm saying this to Parker. I don't know about you. I don't have any say in this. Like, we're just the broadcasters, but like blue collar and then what he loves about baseball. I mean, like, can we make this city love this dude anymore? Like Will Oberg here with us inside the rundown, like giving some advice to anyone out there listening. But hey, grab a baseball and play catch with your dad. How about that?
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's no better joy. I remember those memories too. Those are what made me fall in love with baseball. But speaking of special, you mentioned special moments with your dad. What makes Rockford so special? I mean, you were here last year, and you know what? You're back again this year. So what to you? Why Rockford? Like, what your journey here, and why are you staying?
Last summer it was just so much fun. Showing up every day, going to work every day, hopping on the bus, going on the road, whatever it may be. And I think we just had a special group. And if you're around baseball enough, just about every group you're around has some special people in it. And that's probably what I get the most out of it, is just enjoy being around people who love the game. Enjoy being around people who are working to be as good as they can be at this game. And doing whatever I can to help them along their journey is a big part of it. But Rockford especially, I think it was, I can't speak on past years, but I could see it kind of play out over the course of last year. Is like, as we continued to play good baseball throughout the course of the season, it seemed like the crowds kept getting bigger and bigger, and it seemed like the crowd was invested. You had people running around with little mustaches on for Duhan, the mustache man, and just people that love baseball, love Rockford Rivet baseball, was pretty cool. I think Rockford's a great community. I think it's a good baseball community. Obviously, there's the history there with everything. But I think Rockford has really kind of embraced the Rivets. Last year, I see it throughout the course of the year. And like you guys mentioned on the first episode, we're doing some pretty cool things around the stadium. They got some pretty cool things in the works that are going to enhance that fan experience and get them more involved, more invested. And that's all you could ask for. It's a special feeling as a player when you're going out there and you feel that crowd behind you. It's pretty cool, and it was cool to see that in Rockford this summer, and definitely something I'm looking forward to growing more and appreciating more this year.
And as somebody who was a part of the team last year, what does it mean when it came to those late summer night games and just see the crowd show up more and get loud? I mean, obviously you hope for that this year, but what does it mean in the moment to just have a long night and then all of a sudden the crowd comes alive?
Yeah, I mean, it's something you can't really describe. It's a pretty cool feeling, and you could feel the energy in some of the games. We played some tough ones, we had quite a few walk-off wins, comeback wins at home, and it was electric. It was electric in the dugout, it was electric in the stands, and it was electric on the field. And that's why you do it. It's for moments like that. It's for opportunities like that to go out there and compete and win a game in front of a crowd like that that's behind you. You really can't overstate how much that means to the club and how much that means to the guys in the dugout. It was a lot of fun.
Well, I don't think I have anything else, Parker. If you have anything else, it's 51 nights away. I know that we all have our own respective spring baseball seasons to wrap up, but I mean, 51 nights away, and we talked about it on the first one, Parker. May 31st. It's gonna be a beautiful night in Rockford that night.
Yeah, I don't know about y'all, but I've cleared my schedule for that day. I think I'll be pretty busy.
Yeah, I think I cleared my schedule that day as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think we put together a really good coaching staff. I'm excited to have Tanner, Tyler, and Cam up there. Obviously, Tanner was with us last year, and I think he really emerged as like that presence with the pitchers last year. But he also did a great job of just relating to the guys and bringing a good energy to the clubhouse every day. And guys really just enjoyed going to work with Tanner every day because he enjoyed it. And that's what it comes down to. If we're enjoying it, if we're taking care of the guys, if we're investing in them and putting them in the best positions to succeed, it's going to be hard not to have a fun time out there.
That's one of the questions I wanted to ask you. I'm glad that you brought it up a little bit, but were you a part of picking the staff for this season? And you being the manager, but were you involved in that directly, or was that mostly on your shoulders?
Yeah, no, that was all me. Ownership gave me the autonomy there to go out there and kind of build the staff that I wanted to have. And at first that was a little bit daunting. I'm like, well, I gotta, figure this out. But I think Tanner coming back is big. Just having that comfort of we're both in the clubhouse, we're in the office together last year every day. We went through it together. So I'm confident there's no challenge or obstacle that will come across that we can't tackle. And then Tyler, I played with Tyler Horvath at UIS here in the past, and now he's at Quincy, and we just had a good relationship. He reached out pretty early when I got announced as the manager, and he said, hey, like, if you're looking for a pitching coach, I'd love to be a part of it. He had played for the Rivets in the past, I think in 2021 and 2022. So I have ties to the organization there. Another guy that just loves to get to work, loves the game and everything like that. And then Cam McDonald, Vinny actually kind of put me in connection with him. And I couldn't be happier to have him taking over and working with the hitters and coaching third base this year. I think he's going to be an unbelievable coach. He's super, brings a great energy about him, which is big, especially throughout the course of a long season. But he's got a great mind, and he's got some drive, and that's been very evident early on here as we're getting prepared for the season. He's always texting me or giving me a call with ideas of what we're going to do, and I'm all for it. And the big thing last year, I think that it's tough to quantify, but I think as a coaching staff last year, I felt like we did a great job of preparing. There weren't any games where I went out there and I was like, we're not ready or we're not prepared to play today. Whether that's the scouting reports or just how we're managing personalities, anything like that. And I think that just comes down to being willing to put the work in, and just having a passion for it. Like sitting there doing scouting reports, trying to find something to give our guys an edge that night, when they step in the box and when they toe the rubber. So I think that'll be a big part of it too. And we got a young staff. but we got a very capable staff and a very, very hardworking staff. And I couldn't be more excited to have the three of them up there with me this summer, and just go to work with them every day. I think it's going to be a really good mix and a really good dynamic in that coach's office.
Well, and it's something that I've seen. You know, I'm actually from Rockford. I'm a native, born and raised. I saw this with the Rockford Ice Hogs and the hockey team and how they built the hockey team, and it's familiarity and those fans coming back. And even if you're not, you know, you said, you know, you're no longer playing, you're coaching now, but it's familiarity with the fans and knowing that, you know, how you played and is how you're going to coach and that kind of a thing. And I think that that's a huge thing for Rockford, seeing that, knowing that they're going to have familiar faces back out at the stadium and knowing that those familiar faces do also know kind of how to win a little bit. So I think that's a big thing for you guys as well, or something that you've established. And that's something that I think Rockford's going to pay off in the long run.
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree more with that. And that was a big part of it too, is getting guys that are familiar with the Northwoods, familiar with Rockford, familiar with the game. And I think that'll give you the best chance to go out there and put together a good game plan and get the guys ready to play every night.
Parker, you got anything else?
No, I just can't wait to get started. It's great talking with both of y'all as always. I know talked with you last week, Craig, but
He doesn't
great,
like talking.
great meeting with you. Do you go by that was another thing. Are you manager Oberg now, or you might have been Coach O last year with the hitting coach? So how do you like to be addressed?
Yeah, you know, we're still figuring that one out. I'm pretty much good with whatever, as long as you don't call me Willie. Vinny liked to call me Willie last year when he wanted to get under my skin a little bit. But yeah, whatever works. Coach Oberg, OB, whatever works. We're still feeling that out, and maybe we'll have a better idea of what I'm going by the end of the summer.
Hopefully by the end of the summer, it's not the walking into the locker room and hearing the old sound of Star Wars here. Listen, yeah, you don't want the Death Star when you walk in there. You don't want that.
No, none of that.
That means the season fell down. We don't want that to happen at all.
Yeah, none of that.
Can we comfortably call you Will? Are we okay are we friendly enough now where we can call you?
Yeah, absolutely. Will's perfect.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Yeah, 30 minutes and we got to Will. That's quite an accomplishment.
There we go.
Yeah.
Think of where we'll be in August. We'll be
I'm really excited to do this with you on the field where we can not be on a screen.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it too, and I appreciate you guys taking the time and doing this. It's really cool. I think the fans enjoy it. I think the players enjoy it a lot. And one more thing that's been pretty cool for us all or looking back at last summer is just how much guys care about each other that they played with last summer. Any day I'll hop on Instagram and click through the stories, and we got somebody reposting something because somebody, you know, Brett Sears went 8 innings and punched out 12 or whatever it may be. It's the relationships that these guys develop over the summer. They last long past those 72 games. And I think that's probably the most rewarding part of it, is bringing good people together and developing those relationships, those bonds, that brotherhood, so to speak. And that's been something that last year's coaching staff that we've noticed, we've talked about, is that's pretty cool to see. And so hopefully we can kind of create that same culture, that same team dynamic this year, where guys just, they love each other. They love going to work with each other, and they love seeing each other succeed. And it's a pretty special feeling when you get that out of the group.
Culture is always like one of the hardest parts to establish, because it's not something you just go out there and say. You can't just say, let's have culture. It's something you have to build. And from what you've told us with assembling the staff, thoughts about the players, and it seems like you loved Rockford last year from what you said. So it seems like the culture is starting to get there. And, you know, hey, you got a whole summer. So it seems like it's all going to come out together.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And like any season, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be challenges, but it's the goal is just keep trending in the right direction, keep building towards something, and keep finding a way to go out there every night and play hard and play the game the right way.
Well, Rockford Rivets manager Will Oberg, again, thank you for joining us here in the rundown. We're going to continue on, and we'll look forward to seeing you here in about a month and a half. Thanks again, Coach.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep. See ya.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Oh, well, I mean, what did I think? I mean, at first I was excited for the year. Now I'm really excited for the year because seems like a great guy. Seems
Absolutely.
like a fantastic guy. And more importantly, he seems like he knows what he's talking about. He just went on and on. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, because I was just enthralled with every word that he was saying. It was just like he knew what he was talking about. He knew what he wanted to accomplish. And so I'm now beyond excited. I'm pumped. I'm officially pumped for this year.
Well, and that was the question you and I had before we brought Will on is we don't know him. I mean, again, this is the same thing. Like, hey, we're all new friends here. Hi, I'm Craig. Nice to meet you. Like, hi, how's it going? Like I met you, and now we're meeting Will, and now like we're starting to get to see how the foundation, how the bricks are being laid for this Rockford Rivets organization, and how it's going to play out this summer. And again, like you said, like, I mean, that's why they play the game. But I mean, on paper right now, and after speaking with Will and his direction for this season, I mean, there's a lot to be excited about in Rockford this summer.
Oh, there is so much to be excited for. And I can't wait for all of this to matriculate forward and get it all to happen. It was nice to also to hear that Will's looking, Coach Will, Manager Will, whatever, OB, whatever he wants us to call him. Can't remember what we decided on, but nice to see that he's pumped for not only us broadcasting, but for the fans. That's important to see, because all this is for the fans, Rockford, and no, you being from there, great community with how they support hockey. And now with the summer coming around, can't wait for them to support some baseball.
Yeah, the Rockford likes winners. So this Rockford
City champions.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah. But no, Rockford loves winners, and the hockey team did that, and they started as a local hockey team and then became an affiliate, and the baseball team is trending in a really good direction. And I think Steve Malliot and the general manager in the front office of the Rockford Rivets have done an incredible job. And I think, again, we haven't even seen it. We haven't even been there yet. But I think just based off of what we've seen and all of the hard work that's happening behind the scenes right now, for the team on the field and for the entertainment that's going to be in the stands, like, I can't wait for the fans of this team to see all of the hard work play out around May.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It is going to be great. And this has been a great edition of the Rivets Rundown. Thank you so much for joining us. For my partner, Craig Combs, I'm Parker Porrill. Thank you so much for joining us, and Rivets out.